Ross, Daddy Cool looked like being the success story of the year. Why has it happened?
Well, I think it's happened because in the first place we started the group as a relief from just the music that was around then. You couldn't seem to play anything except, you know, really loud and heavy and slow sort of stuff that you couldn't enjoy much at all, except maybe intellectually. And it's just the group was formed as a relief for us from that, and it turned out that it's a relief for everybody else too, the audiences.
What inspired you to go back to the 50s sort of music?
Well, I've been interested in the R&B side of that music from way back then for a long time, for years and years. And then recently I started to get more into the more sophisticated R&B, all the group things, and all those vocal groups and that, and as well as some of the standard old rock things.
Yeah. Well, it's part of a rock revival which has really taken off in Melbourne and perhaps Adelaide. Now, you're going to move around the country. How do you think it'll go in a place like Sydney?
Well, I don't know about Sydney. I've only played there a couple of times myself in a few other groups a long time ago. But from our experience there, just at Wallacia and in Canberra too, New South Wales audiences in general, I think are a bit more inhibited than Melbourne audiences and Adelaide audiences. Melbourne audiences are really getting off their feet these days. They've had some really incredible concerts down there.
Yeah.
And they all love just getting in a big mass and rocking. It's really good.
What sort of age groups do you get most response from?
Oh, I think mainly kids just out of high school or around about 20 years old. We seem to get the best response from, and who patronise the concerts at Melbourne Town Hall and places like that we've played at. From older students, say older university students tend to appreciate the nostalgia attached to it, whereas the really young ones, they only like us because they kind of can hear this nice music coming out. They don't know anything about it. They just like it.
Gary, you were born in the States. You've been here a long while. There is talk of you going back. How do you think you'll rate, or would rate, in a scene like that where, for example, Shana and Nas are doing incredible stuff there anyway, of the same type as yourself?
Yeah. Well, our manager was over in the States just recently and trying to fix things up about the record and stuff, you know. And he saw Shana Na when he was there. And when he got back to Melbourne, we all sort of went round to his place and sort of asked him about the trip and everything and what sort of bands, what the groups were like that he saw. And he told us that Shana Na have got the most incredible stage act that you could ever imagine. But he said musically, because they're sort of, I mean, they might be really good players and everything, but because they've got such an involved stage thing, yeah, their music's not so good, you know.
Well, after Australia, where would you like to go?
Oh, do you mean as a group, like as the four guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think the States, but yeah, the States, definitely.
Yeah. Why the States?
Well, I think if we went to England, I mean, well, I've never been to England, so I don't know, but from what I've heard, I think if we went there, the people would probably be so super critical of what we were playing that they wouldn't sort of stop to think about that, like, you know, it was good fun and everything, because the groups that sort of, the English groups are such sort of super heavy musicians and stuff, that seems to be what they sort of go for, whereas the Yanks will sort of groove on any old thing.